Good morning, class, and welcome to our English lesson for today. Today, for 6th to 8th English, we are going to be covering lesson 8.5 in your book. Please open your books to page to lesson 8.5. Today's lesson, we are going to be talking about adverb clauses. Now, remember, we've been working with clauses for about this entire virtual week so far. We talked about independent and dependent clauses, how independent can stand by itself as a complete thought, but dependent can't. We also worked with adjective clauses, where the clause is describing a noun or a pronoun in the sentence, and they will start with either a relative pronoun or a subordinate conjunction. And yesterday we talked about restrictive and non-restrictive clauses. Today we're adding one more to that list. We are going to be talking about adverb clauses. Dependent clauses, remember, that rely on an independent clause can act as adverbs and give more information on verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. That's a key difference between adjective clauses and adverb clauses. Adjective clauses will tell you more about nouns or pronouns. Adverb clauses will tell you more about verbs, adjectives, or adverbs. An adverb clause will answer these questions or tell you more about it by saying where something happened, when, why, in what way, to what extent, or under what condition. Not which kind, which one, or how many. Where, when, why, in what way, to what extent, or under what condition. Here's an example sentence with an adverb clause being used correctly. Because settlers took over their habitats, mountain lions disappeared east of the Rockies. Because settlers took over their habitats is your adverb clause. And it is telling you more about the verb disappear. Why did they disappear? Because settlers took over their habitats. It is telling you more about the verb disappeared, answering the question why they disappeared. That is the basics on adverb clauses. If you need a more detailed explanation of adverb clauses, look on page 148 in your books or rewind this section of the video so you can hear me explain adverb clauses again. Adverb clauses will always start with a subordinate conjunction, just like adjective clauses, but remember, adverb clauses do not describe a noun or a pronoun. So their subjunctive subordinate conjunctions will be different from the adjective clauses. When you are working through your assignment, you can refer to the list of your subordinate clauses that go with adverbs here that we'll be going through in this section of the video, which is on page 148 in your book. Or you can look at the adjective clauses lesson where we talk about those subordinate conjunctions. If you see these subordinate conjunctions, you will know you are looking at an adverb phrase. These are after, although, as if, as long as soon as though, because, before, if, in order that, since, than, though, unless, until, when, whenever, where, wherever, while. If you see one of these words starting off a dependent clause, that's a key sign that you are looking at an adverb clause. And there is a special rule with adverb clauses. If the adverb clause starts the sentence, like it did on this page, you will follow that clause by a comma, separating it from the rest of the sentence. If you need to hear me explain these subordinate conjunctions one more time, you can rewind the video to the beginning of this section or look for this list in your book on page 148. Here we have two sentences that have adverb clauses. What I would like you to do is find where the subordinate conjunction is that starts the adverb clause and what is that adverb clause answering about the verb, adjective, or adverb. Let's do number one. Florida panthers became a distinct species after they were separated from their cougar relatives in the West. Pause the video. Find the subordinate conjunction that starts the adverb clause and what word it is describing and how is it describing it. Hopefully, you saw that the subordinate conjunction after starts the adverb clause after they were separated from their cougar relatives in the West. And it is describing more about the verb became. When did they become distinct? They became distinct after they were separated from their cougar relatives in the West. After is the subordinate conjunction that starts this adverb clause. Let's look at the second sentence. Florida panthers are smaller than their western cousins. Pause the video. First, find the subordinate conjunction that starts the adverb clause. Then, find what word it is describing and how is it describing it. Hopefully you said that than is the subordinate conjunction here that starts the adverb clause, then their western cousins. What is it describing? It is describing the word smaller. It's describing that adjective, saying, what are they smaller than? Their western cousins. If you need to hear me work through these examples again, rewind this section of the video, or you can look on page 148 in your book where they have a detailed explanation as to why these two adverb clauses start with their subordinate conjunction, what purpose they serve in telling you more about smaller and became. Now it is time for us to work through our example problems for your assignment, which will be due the next time we meet in person. You will be doing lesson 8.5, pages 148 and 149, exercises 1 and 2. Please pause the video to make sure that you have a pencil and a paper out so you can follow along with our examples. For exercise 1, you are going to write out the phrase, the clause, and underline or circle the subordinate conjunction that starts that adverb clause. Let's look in this sentence. Although it is almost extinct, the Florida panther is the state animal of Florida. Let's look for the subordinate conjunction that starts the adverb clause. We see that although it is almost extinct is the adverb clause. And we know that it is separated by this comma because it's at the start of the sentence. So you will write on your paper, although it is almost extinct, then you can either underline although or circle although to show that it is the subordinate conjunction that starts that adverb clause. That is how you do exercise 1. Write the clause, underline or circle the subordinate conjunction that starts that clause. For exercise 2, what you will do is you will find the dependent clause, the clause that has to rely on something else to be a part of the sentence. Write it, and tell me whether or not it's an adjective clause or an adverb clause. It's combining your lesson that you're learning today as well as your lesson you learned earlier this week. Here is our example sentence. The Florida panther, which was once common throughout the Southeast, is now only found in Florida. Let's look for a relative pronoun or a subordinate conjunction. Refer to your list on page 148 for adverb clause subordinate conjunctions and the adjective clause lesson for the list of relative pronouns and subordinate conjunctions that start those clauses. Hopefully you can see that we have the relative pronoun which. Which is only used with adjective clauses. So first, you will write the clause, which was once common throughout the Southeast. You will write that clause on your sheet, which was once common throughout the Southeast. Then you will either write adjective clause or adverb clause. After you've checked the subordinate conjunction or the relative pronoun, you can look and see what word is it telling you more information about. Here, it is telling you about the panther. What panther? The panther which was once common throughout the Southeast. Panther is a noun. Therefore, only adjective clauses can describe it. So you will write adjective. That's how you do exercise 2. Write the clause, tell me whether it is an adjective clause or an adverb clause. That is our lesson for today. You are to finish exercises 1 and 2 for the next time we meet in person, as well as if you have any questions on your assignment, you can meet during our Zoom period later today where you can ask me these questions in person. Thank you for paying attention in our lesson today, and I look forward to our English lesson tomorrow.